This
One of
conference
the
will now be recorded.
is so for today's meeting, one of agenda is inspired to present the OpenRMC overview. So we will go to a high level overview. So introduce me a little bit. So my name is Hawan. I'm from Inspire System US. So I'm a senior architect, also the senior client product manager. So today I will present on behalf for the software team. So our software team is online. So I will give a high level overview. So if you have a detailed questions, so you can ask. Okay. So regarding Inspire OpenRMC video's agenda, so we have a couple of bullet items. Okay. So we're gonna talk about rack level overview and also our RMC diagram, also the RMC BMC logic connection, and also the future RMC logic diagram of the our key module of the OpenRMC code and the software architecture, and we show a little bit code and UI. Also briefly talk about the future plan. So this is a rack level view for the based on the open rack for the OpenRMC. So basically, we are using the integration model. Interact model uses the abstraction layer model. So basically, on this rack, so we have the RMC integrated to the power supply. So we divide the node region to up node area and lower node area. So also we have a TOR on top of switch. We know we can have the RMC either in the PowerShell or in the switch, also could be standalone. So for our OpenRMC implementation, so we pick the integrated RMC in the power supply. So the next one is a high level of RMC larger diagram. Um, so we are picking a speed AST 2500 because we are putting in the power supplies. So we have a bunch of GPIO connecting to the PSU area. So we are monitoring area presence and the power supply is on, off, power good. Also any PSU alert. We also have the middle board inside the power supply module. So we also make sure the middle board is present. So we also have R2C topology, which allow us to monitor all kinds of sensors. Also, we have a dedicated port for the outband management network. Okay, so as we know, so our RMC, OpenRMC module is based on top of the OpenBMC. As we know, the OpenBMC has a very good support for the option components such as AST 2400 and 2500. So OpenBMC already have support for IPMI, Redfish, also has some support for WebViewer, so the OpenRMC code can leverage the same feature. So regarding our connection between RMC and the BMC, so for current design, so we are using the abstraction model. So we have an outband network. We have a RMC connect to the outband network switch, and also we have all the node BMC use dedicated port to connect to the outband network switch. And from the outband network switch, we can do all the client application and remote access. So we're gonna talk about a little bit later. So for next generation, yeah. So it's for the rack, for the OpenRMC. So the topology for the outbound network doesn't change. So we still leverage the outbound network from RMC to the management switch and the switch to all the network. So inside the PowerShell, so we are allowing PM bus over R2C to the power controller board and connect to all the PSU. Yeah. Any questions so far? Okay. So the key module.
Quick question. Sorry,
Okay.
it's John Leon. Is that switch passive or is it managed by the RMC?
Oh, you talk about the network switch?
Yeah,
One?
switch. Yeah, the switch on the left-hand side.
I think it's non-passive switch. Should be the manageable.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the key module about the OpenRMC software architecture. So we have two key modules. So the first one is the web server, RMC web server. So basically, it's sit in the middle between BMC and RMC web GUI. Web GUI, our RMC web GUI is another module. So the RMC web server delivers a feature of all the southbound interface with RESTful API, also capable of the northbound interface API. So the information, the communication between BMC and web server, right now we implement is purely on the Redfish. Also for the northbound side, either to the web UI or other use tools, we also use the Redfish. So basically, the RMC web server is acting as an RMC rack management controller service, and web UI is acting as RMC client. So basically, it's an introduction to the DC manager. Any question on this one?
I have a question.
Oh,
So is that
yes,
RMC web server part of the contribution?
yes.
Okay.
So we have the library file defined. Some actually from the service rule, we have all the list, but not all of them. So I can show a little bit later. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also will do some snapshot of the web GUI. Yeah. Okay. So the code is basically the underlying base code is from the OpenBMC. So the code is forked from the OpenBMC repository. And we have implemented two applications. So it's RMC web server in this address. So I will gonna jump to that one later. Also, we have RMC web UI. So yeah, so um, so basically RMC web server. So we support Redfish 1.6 or later, and basically it's written in the C++, and no matter its library or the web server implementation. And this is addressed in the GitHub. So we also find some advantage of using this work. So I'll show a little bit later. And this is how you build. You can git clone from the repository and follow the instruction here. So let me go to the code. Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So basically, we have two master folders. So one called RMC Web. The other one is All Web. So RMC Web is for the web server, and All Web is for the web UI. So when we click the RMC web server folder. So basically you will see the bunch of file here. So we have the refuge con, which include the RMC RMC web server implementation. So this is a library file. So from the service root, according to our RMC specs, so we have the chassis, we have the manager, we have power, the system, we have SIML. Also, we have the update service. So let me go inside. So we define a reference namespace. So we have defined a couple of class. One is a class collection. Basically, we'll scan all the chassis in a rack and gather the old data just and do the collection. Also, some privilege. So this, oh, sorry. So this is the private function get chassis. This will collect name ID, the thermal, and you see this is from the service root, all the paths, all the resources, and also collect all the status. And this is get back of the get chassis command. We get back. So let's go to RMC manager. So this is another resources in the RMC resources list. And we again, so this also is a reference namespace. So we have defined a couple of classes, define the manager action. So such like as a manager action reset, we have the managers, so we can pull the, we can get the go get data, and we'll grab all the manager RMC information, and we have the also some other
So the code,
information go.
so
Yeah,
so the code is it actually passing it, passing the request across, and then, or is this the website or is this the actual RMC site that you're showing us?
this is the RMC side. So the one of uh, the web page side is on the web GUI. So Luis, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out, I see a lot of construction of the JSON packet, but I don't know where you're
Yeah.
getting the data for your JSON packet. So let's go to managers, right? So how are you actually collecting the data for managers?
I think let's go get. So I think this go get. Luis, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is a function we can get all the managed collection data back and parse in and put it in the JSON format. Yeah.
So this looks like a static assignment,
Yeah.
right?
Hold on. For this one,
Hello, hello,
yeah,
hello, hi, hello.
yes,
Can you
I can
hear?
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
You can show the RMC thermal dot HPP.
This one?
RMC thermal.
Yeah, this one, right?
Yes.
This
Uh,
folder or this one? I'm confused.
yes.
This
The
one?
line. Yes. Here.
Okay. So Luis, can you explain a little? So John's question. So how can we get all the, for example, this thermal data? So what is the function to
Okay.
fulfill that requirement? Yes.
This one. Let me see. Sorry. Master.
You want to scroll up or?
Yes, it's just here. And
It's
you
here?
can see, yes, the line 112.
112? Okay.
Yes,
All
the
right.
code is for the southbound API to get the information from BMC.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
No, this makes sense. So all you're doing is you're pointing to the southbound, right? Going and fetching the data from the uh, the BMC
Yeah.
on the system, and then placing it in the model, which is in the RMC.
Yes.
But the rest of the data is static, and that's fine as long as the dynamic data is still dynamic. We're kind of okay.
Yeah. So, but I think Louis' point here is using Southbound API, so we can direct fetch the data from the individual BMC. So if we scan all the node BMC, so we can collect all from the Southbound side, do the listing of the whole rack, right? So then we convert and parse in the data. So
Right. So that means
using the northbound interface, yeah.
right. So that means the northbound interface of your RMC just presents an abstraction layer
Yes.
for
So at the
everything
beginning,
below it, but you're fetching the most of the dynamic data directly from
yes,
below.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So as I said in the beginning of the talk, for this OpenRMC Inspire implementation, we pick the abstraction model. So basically, so we rely on RMC, use the southbound interface to fetch all the data from BMC. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back.
So what do you do with
So
status information?
uh, you type on the static information in the code.
Yeah, no, status. Status and state. So for
Oh,
status and
status.
state,
Uh-huh.
right, do you go ask the BMC uh, what the status and state of and propagate that up to?
Yes, I believe so. And
Okay.
Luis, what's the frequency we pull the BMC data? Do you remember?
what's the what I can't hear clear.
Yeah. So my question is, John is asking about the status data. So my question is, how often our RMC do pull from the no BMC side about all the
Uh,
dynamic data? Yeah.
the other data except the thermal.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not just restricted to thermal. So yeah, overall, we just
If
give a generic talk. Yeah. Okay, I got confused. Okay.
so, how often do you get the thermal updates?
Yeah.
Okay. So he might
Okay.
have gone
So
offline, but that's okay.
uh,
yeah,
I think I understand because I notice in the code your status and state is static here.
okay.
So, but it can be coded around. I mean, that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I
So
I built my emulators the same way, right? You stub everything, right? Because most of it's static
yeah,
anyway, and then you
but
go correct
eventually
it.
you can pull dynamically, like the
Yeah.
command we
You just have
showed.
to
Yeah.
change the code to actually get it dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I just can you go through the resources? So we have another resource called the update service. So basically, we are collecting all the software stack inventory in each node,
So
and yeah, go ahead.
So what's more interesting about this is the fact that I think in your slide set you showed that you start with Open BMC
Yes.
and then you layer the stuff on top of it. So could
Yeah.
you go back to how you do your build, because that's probably of more interest to me.
This one?
Yes. So do you? Yeah. Let me move all this stuff over. So if someone was going to build this, does your OpenRMC have a clone of
Uh-huh.
OpenBMC, or does a person basically clone OpenBMC and then you're just the incremental files that run on top or replace the OpenBMC files? So it looks like from here, right, you do a git clone of the entire OpenRMC repository, which means you have a full copy of OpenBMC.
Louis, I think we have a fork from OpenBMC, right?
Yes, it's a fork from OpenBMC.
And so how often do you pull from OpenBMC, or do you freeze it? You just do a pull and freeze, and because OpenBMC is changing all the time, right? And so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
do you just freeze OpenBMC, like say 2.6, and say, okay, that's it. We're gonna build, and then when they do a update, you'll think about it. But you're frozen. OpenRMC is frozen to 2.6 until reintegration occurs with an updated version of OpenBMC.
Hey, so Louis, do
So
you
I'm going
understand
to
the
assume
question? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, John.
you did the later, right? You just took a snapshot and and basically froze BMC and then built OpenRMC on top of it.
Yeah, so Louis, so let me rephrase the question. So are we froze OpenBMC snapshot, or we do periodic we do from the latest OpenBMC? So John question is asking, so are we using the snapshot and froze everyone and build on our OpenRMC on top of that? Yeah. Yeah, Emil? Hmm.
Okay, you can answer that offline, but that's
Yeah.
important because
Yeah, I know.
once we put this in the repository, as
Mm-hmm.
we have instructions on how to go build this thing, if we
Mm-hmm.
have to go pull a new copy of OpenBMC, we need to tell them. If you already have a snapshot copy, then that makes it a
Sure.
bit easier.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me pull this back.
So the
So
code that we're looking at, are these replacements for OpenBMC code, or is this? So that's the way I would see it, is that whatever's in your RMC, your contribution source code, or stuff that replaces what's in OpenBMC.
hey, Louis, this is a good question. So are we replacing our code back to the OpenBMC repository? Yeah. John, I have to take this offline.
Okay, just
Yeah,
take the questions down, because all this is
yeah, I know.
this.
It's a valid question. So
Yeah.
but I don't have a direct answer on that because I don't control the code. So,
Okay.
but I
Okay. So
definitely check with the team regarding all these variable questions. Yeah,
yeah.
it's fair
So
question.
now we
Yeah,
go back to the source code if you want, but just gives you us context, right? Of
yeah.
I assume you actually replacing code, because I would expect the OpenBMC code to actually turn around and call some I2C thing, right? To get
Okay,
whatever is on the platform itself. And in this case, you're just saying, oh, I already know the BMC has it, so I'm just going to turn around and call the BMC on the node and get the data.
okay. So, are we still looking at this one, or we go to the
Yeah, your code is still up.
Yeah. So we just talk about the other. So we still have power and the system. The server we just go through.
So
We
I have another
yeah.
question.
Yes.
Go back up one to live,
Uh,
right? So I
uh,
noticed these all have RMC dash extensions in the
yes.
front, right? Which
Yeah.
means they may replace them in function, but they don't replace them in name. So OpenBMC has a chassis.hpp, and
Uh-huh.
you basically made a copy and called it RMC underscore chassis. That's fine. And then you modify your build script,
Yeah.
go collect up these RMC ones instead of the BMC ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to walk this through, right? So if I look at your build script, you have a dot environment, you have a configuration file you actually call. So where do you actually go and swap out chassis.hpp with RMC underscore chassis.hpp?
Mm-hmm.
So that's my other question. So
I need Louis to ask the detailed
I know
question.
that's right. The question is
Yeah.
now. I understand. Just tell me when
Yeah.
you. Okay. And now, if you could go to update service, I'd like to find out whether is that one where you just
Uh,
turn around and call that
yeah.
line there.
So I just because I was on this one. So basically, it pulls all the firmware stack inventory to the collection. So yeah. So
So where's the
let's
one where
see.
you turn around and I like the piece of code that turns around and calls the client, the Open BMC.
Let me see. Uh, yeah, I need someone more familiar with the code.
Right, right. So if you could find
Yeah.
that line of code, that's
Yeah.
what's important, right? Is how much is, I understand creating the abstraction northbound, right? But the
Mhm.
the the bulk of this is turning around and pointing downward and getting the data from the BMC. So,
Yes.
um,
Okay, I will figure that out.
okay, okay. No, but that basically
Yeah.
tells me the entire
I
construct of
know
this.
I know your point. I know your concern. So yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm probably not the best person to answer that question.
Right, because looking at the three contributions, right, there's only two which are based on Open BMC image, right? The Olympus, which I think also did a fork and built on top of it, and then this one.
Uh-huh.
And so these are guaranteed to fit on the AST 2500, which is on the Nokia Open Edge.
Uh-huh.
So now it becomes a question of how quickly either one of them can be um, um, implemented, right, to go run on the Open Edge platform.
Okay.
So if Open Edge complies with Redfish, right, if all the servers comply with Blades, whatever you call them,
Yeah.
support Redfish, right,
Hmm.
theoretically I should be able to drop this in, and for the ones that you turn southbound and make the same Redfish call, it should run.
Yes.
Right, and so that to me is is the next thing is can we get an Open Edge platform and load this into AST 400 2500 and see how far this actually gets.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay,
that's the correct direction. Okay, so probably I can go through all the resources details. So
well, unless
yeah.
I don't need that level of detail because I think most of it is setting up static variables, right? Which is fairly straightforward. So unless there's
Yeah.
anyone else on the line who wants to go through these files, then I would, if there's anything left in the presentation to present, that would be good, or we could go on to the demo.
Yeah. So okay. So
Wait. Before you go, is there anyone on the line that wants to see the
oh, okay.
files? Going once? Okay, go to the demo or slide set.
So this is what we call it as a key module is the web UI. Basically, it's just RMC client end, and you can use a web browser to have a web UI design. So currently, we support Mandarin and English. So from the right hand side figures, when we log in, so we have all the inventory, all this tabs. On the bottom of the tabs, so there's a Redfish. So basically, this is a Redfish tool to enable us to visually display all the Redfish interface result related data. For example, all the from the service route, all the resources. So basically, we put like a chassis manager or the system up service. So from the body side, so you can get a visual display, and this is convenient for debug code and retrieving the code, and also perform some script development work. Yeah, this, I think the last one is so we have the repository on GitHub. So basically, want get more feedback from broader audience. So right now, the Nussbaum, the API spec is on the phase 1. So we will align in with phase 2 to implement more feature. So for the RMC hardware, so right now, so the Inspire contribute to the OpenRMC will using the PowerShell version. So we have an internal discussion whether we have a standalone version using some modular design, so whether we can fit to the PowerShell version as well. So this is a TPD right now. Yeah. So this is pretty much a high level of the OpenRMC, an overview from the Inspire side. So I will take the list of questions in the meeting and then go back to us software team. Yeah. So that will be offline follow up.
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you.
Was there a demo you were going to show, or did we skip that?
Demo. Oh no, I think right the connection has a problem. So actually, we do a brief demo already before in the OCP summit. So maybe next time, so if I can make some remote connections, we can do a real-time demo with all the Nussbaum phase 2 implemented.
Could you, do
Okay.
you have a link to the open OCP Summit presentation video? Because if so, if you've done demo there, it's on the video, I can just add it to the minutes for those who want to see it.
Okay. So I will figure that out. I talked to the software team. Yeah. Okay. All right. I will take this action.
Okay.
If
Thank you for
no question, I give this back.
Are there any other questions? Okay. Thank you for starting without me. Sorry I was late. I'm going to go back to the prior agenda item, which is status of the repositories or contributions. So Rajiv, if you're still on the line.
John, yes, I'm here.
Okay. So we have 3 contributions, and I want to know what the status of them are.
So I actually came back from China last week, and I'm still looking into my emails. But if you have sent me an email with the zip files of the contributions, I will put them in today itself. Have you already sent me those three contribution information through email?
Yes, you should have them, but I will package them up from both Intel and Inspur. Make sure you get those in a package, so you don't have
That
to
would
hunt
be
through your
great,
email.
John. So if you could do that, I apologize. If you could do that, I promise I will update that today. So
Okay, and then what I'd like is at the top level. Let me go show this real quick. Is so I can everyone else have agree what we're doing here. I'm gonna go ahead and share this. Okay, does everyone see this? Should be the repository.
I can't see the screen yet, John.
So the answer is no.
I can't. Maybe I don't think anybody can see it. Something happened. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I
Okay,
can see it
okay.
now.
So right now, this is the repository under Rack Manager. And so what I'd like is to have each one of these under a different submittal. So the first one should be submittal Microsoft. Second folder should be or contribution Intel, and then contribution Inspur. And then you can put their entire repository underneath that. And then we'll have a separate source called Rack Manager. We'll put the final source that we use as the repo, as the thing we're going to build Open RMC out of. That way people
Yep.
can look at each of the contributions separately and then look at whatever we develop or hack within this group. Okay. And so does anyone have an issue if we partition this folder repository this way? I think it'll make it easier for everyone to look at it.
Yeah, I that completely. Initially, since we had only one contribution from Microsoft, so that was the reason it was structured like this. But now we need to separate, the code based on who is contributing it to. So
Okay.
yeah.
And have we heard anything back from Microsoft regarding their update to the Olympus contribution?
No, I haven't, and I have already sent multiple emails. And in fact, they had to work on the licenses too. If you remember the discussions we had from
Okay.
with Sriram, but no, I will follow up with them and get back to you on that.
Okay. Okay, so that's the update. I'm not going to. Yeah, I don't think I have the agenda up. So I think that was the end of my agenda. Don't think we've got any updates to the northbound API or the southbound API. I've contacted the Open Edge project team and told them that I've asked twice for their use cases and I've got nothing. So we're going to go with ours and we'll move forward with those. And that's what if we deliver anything to the Open Edge RMC, that's what we're going to deliver. And based on their API and our API, I think we're all going after the same set of use cases. So unless they object, or if they want to object, they can, but they better come with something, some use cases besides what we're going with. So we set a platform target, we set a use case target, and now I believe the next phase will be for them to, for us to acquire time on their platform. So they can drop the RMC images built off our repository once all the submittals are there to see how far we can get.
So that's great, John. I had a question about RMC, and today, since Inspur did walk through to the code, and I believe potentially they can demo it too. some of the functionalities, doesn't matter what they are, through the Redfish APIs. Does it make sense if we could be in a position to demo this, in the experience lab at the regional summit in September ending? I believe we are getting closer, but I would like to read your mind on that.
I make no commitments until I get at least one something running. So to me, it all hinges on what happens when we drop one of these images into Nokia's RMC. Right?
Okay.
If I get a redfish prompt, I'll be really happy. If I get no redfish prompt, then we got problems.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
Okay.
I hear you.
So
Yeah.
that's why I think that's the next critical thing, right? And so we'll test whether OpenEdge and Bill Carter can actually line things up so we can get time on a platform.
Okay. Sounds good, John. Yeah.
Okay, and so if we wanted an image on, how would we get an image? Should we go build it from scratch, or do you have one that we could just use?
The image.
I guess that's the last question, right? Is
Yeah.
based on your contribution, yeah, I could do all this, and I could go build an
Yeah.
image, right? Or I could just say,
Yeah.
you got one handy, I can just use.
Good question. So, it's a very question. I have no very question answer
Please add it
to
to the
that
list.
now. Yeah. I'm talking with the team regarding whether you can direct use the image, to build the
Yeah,
image directly. Yeah.
right.
Okay, but I know your plan, so I
Okay,
will talk to the team. Yeah.
okay, great. Thank you. That'll move us forward. And the last thing is meetings. So we had a special meeting this week. I will actually be out of town next week, so I will not be able to chair the regular meeting next Tuesday. So unless there are agenda items, Han, you can either co-chair, you can
Yeah.
either chair the meeting next week, or if there are no updates, that we can cancel and go out 3 weeks.
You probably go through because next meeting I'm in business travel
What?
for this year.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
decided, guys. There will be no project leads. So, I'll go ahead and cancel next
Yeah.
week.
So yeah. Okay.
Okay. And with
So,
that,
and oh, John, before you adjourn,
yes.
there's an open issue. There's an open issue in poll on the profile repo
For what?
for typos in nonconformance with the spec.
In which profile?
It's actually both of them, but I wanted
Okay.
to see about those as well. So the question is, if they're not, it's not a question of changing the requirement or the matter of the profile, but rather effectively correcting typos that prevent it from conforming to the spec. Is that something we need to really take to the other groups, or can we correct it for them?
We can probably correct the form and then notify the group. That's the plus. The negative is this group, this sub-project only owns the open RMC profile,
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Never mind.
which exists on a branch.
Yeah. Never mind.
So yeah, so I will close with the project leads of the
Okay.
hardware management profile and have them bless changes. Or I can just go at it because it'll be on the whip version, right? Because it's not on the release version, unless they want to change the release version. Yeah. So yeah, so I'll update it onto the whip because I think that's where you place your change fixes.
I think I did it in the.
Because you
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Right.
shouldn't have changed 1.0 because that's released, right?
Correct.
Right. So you did it on WIP, then hardware management, I just need to push the fixes up there. Hardware management will come back and say, yeah, there are fixes, let's go to 1.0.1.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's correct. That is where they are.
Okay, so I'll make sure that gets on hardware management's agenda. Okay,
All right. Thank you.
are there any other items? All right, well, thank you. I will see you guys all in 3 weeks.
Thanks,
you,
John.
guys. Bye.
Okay,
Thank
John.
you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.